Welcome to episode 3 of our 10-minute watercolor tutorials. I'm Bill Holkham, and today I'll show you how to paint a beautiful beginner-friendly landscape in just 10 minutes. Today we are using a palette of colors from our friends at Deep Deep Light, a great little set of handmade pigments, so I'll link those below. You can use something like a number 12 brush, um, so close to a mop brush. Whatever you feel comfortable with. It is a very small piece of paper, small painting. Take down the edges. This is Fabriano Artistico 140-pound rough. And you'll see a great amount of use of the flat brushes. You can use a half and a quarter, whatever you feel comfortable with. And what we're aiming for here in this painting, especially in the sky and then on reflection on the water, is a burst of light. So this is a good exercise in painting a burst of light. To achieve that, we had to put the clear water over the whole of the sky area, and then we'll be building up dark clouds, but leaving a light area. So light bursting through the clouds. And because it's a very small piece of paper, something like 7 by 5, it's very good for practicing. You can go over the distant hillside there. I call it hillside. Hillside is not very elevated, hard to call it a mountain, because you will see as we progress that that land area will be very dark, which also provides a very nice contrast. You will see that I've listed the various pigments used in this demonstration using the colors of Deep Deep Light, manufacturer of these colors. They have asked me to do a tutorial using their colors so that potential customers can see their use, see what effects you can get with them. And I think they would be very useful, especially for small plein air paintings, a little travel kit like I've developed here on the right-hand side of the screen, which you can hold. It has a ring at the bottom. You can hold that in your hand and do some painting plein air, which would be very useful. It would be much harder to do with a larger palette. And therefore, on this occasion, you'll see me using multiple colors as opposed to on other occasions when I'll mix all the colors I need from about 3 or 4. In art, of course, it's always your choice as to what you want to do and what you want to have available to you to achieve the results you're aiming for. So far, I think the colors are doing very well. And for the ocean area, we're using some of that Ultra France blue. And then we'll dip into some of the darker colors, such as the grey ochre, to deepen those colors here and there. And later on, you will see me also using the lifting technique on the surface of the water where the burst of clouds has occurred, um, with the very light area bouncing off the surface of the ocean. For the time being, I'm purposefully leaving here and there little bits of white of the paper. So we'll come on to that much later. Now, with these waters in the Scottish Highlands, the and the various islands on the west coast, such as this area, you will see lots of variation in the water. Blues, greens, turquoise, etc., greys, etc. That partly depends on the weather effects, of course, but it does seem to be a trait. You'll see me in all my painting always having tissue to hand, and a great deal of dabbing out here and there goes on. Also, it's useful to run your brush over the clean tissue to take off any excess amount of pigment or water, so that you can maintain as much control as possible. As if there's an excessive amount, it could bloom when you lay it down on the paper because it's just too much and it goes everywhere. Also, you may wish to control the intensity of pigment by having that tissue to hand and running your brush over it. So that distant land is showing up quite nicely against the sky, good contrast. And there are various rocky areas which also help show a nice contrast, which we'll be coming on to. You can use a yellow color, the equivalent of a yellow ochre, really. Um, it's more like a royal yellow. And this this gives the feeling of sand on the beach, but these beaches in general are very light in terms of the sand, so just bear that in mind. But although at the moment that looks quite strong on the beach, it will lighten a tremendous amount, as you can see once it's dried off. Now, that lifting on the surface of the ocean, flat brush, clear water, and just from side to side, then clean tissue, press down hard and lift. And then we're getting much more of that effect of the light bouncing off the water. I think it's looking quite effective. And you see it's varied in shape, to keep it as interesting as possible. Now that's thoroughly dried off with hair dryer, it needs to be at this stage, otherwise we'd lose control of laying down these various dark rocks that are jutting out through the water. And they also help emphasize this very nice contrast. This is a good little practice sketch um, that you can do to get used to the handling of your paper and the mixing of colors, laying down, achieving certain methods that you would apply, such as a scraping technique, wet in wet washes, use of flat brushes, etc., etc. So I do encourage you to practice as much as possible on small pieces of paper like this. That's why we're doing this little mini series of about 5 paintings of 10-minute watercolors. For the dune areas, lay down an underpainting of yellow. It can be yellow with a royal yellow and a yellow lichen, etc., etc. Your choice. So it's bright but varied. Then, whilst that's wet, you'll lay down some green. You could go for the woodpecker green, something like that. your choice, and do a nice variation. You see a lot of wet in wet going on there as an underpainting. Will be various strands of grasses coming on later. I think you'll agree from what you can see on the screen so far that the burst of light we wanted to achieve has resulted. I think it's very effective, and it's nicely mirrored in the water. And here we have the finished artwork. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial using deep light paints, and I look forward to seeing you next time.